Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. Welcome to Raid Shadow Legends Champion Guides and Infographics. This is going to be a super important one because this is a build that most players out there are going to want to get on their account eventually. We're going to be showing you how to solo even the hardest Scarab King in the Doom Tower that you will ever have to face on level 100 of the rotation that he is in. This is by far the most popular use for UROST SOULCAGE. So I will have an HD infographic and a web post down below to walk you through everything you need to know about farming the Scarab boss using UROST SOULCAGE. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, I will have that infographic, like I said, down below if you'd like to pull that up on your end. But one important thing to note about UROST is that he is very special in the sense that he cannot be summoned out of any shards in any capacity. And you can actually see this if you go to the summoning portal. If some of you are newer to Raid and you're just trying to, stay in the loop for future builds, you're going to want to do, if you click on the eye in the summoning portal, you'll see that the following champions cannot be summoned from any shard. And then right here towards the left side, you've got UROST the SOULCAGE. So you're going to have to acquire him on your account by clearing some of those rooms in the Doom Tower, some of those secret rooms, and you'll get fragments for him and you can eventually summon him. And you'll ideally want to do that during a CVC so you can get a few bonus points for your clan when you do bring UROST onto your account. And he is going to be in the Undead Horde down here towards the far right side. UROST the SOULCAGE, a void legendary that you get from those Doom Tower secret rooms. He scales with HP. And as far as base stats, he's actually got pretty solid base stats. Really high base HP at almost 25,000 and a decent defense to go along with that. The attack is completely irrelevant. You're never going to need any attack for UROST. It won't help him in any way. The 95 base speed is a little bit on the low side with the current meta of Raid, but we don't need to build him with super high speed, so it's not really that big of a deal. And the nice base resistance of 50 along with at least getting 10 accuracy because we are going to want some accuracy on him, so that helps a little bit as well. And then as far as kit analysis, so the reason he ends up being a really good solo champion in the context of the Scarab is you've got this A1 here that's going to place a shield on himself for 10% of his max HP. And since he has 25,000 max HP, he can scale his HP up very effectively. And he's also going to increase the value of that shield for each poison debuff on the target. So he's running in, he's hitting the Scarab, and he's getting a really good shield on himself to help him keep alive doing solo content. Now, some of the other stuff that he does here is super wordy. He does have the strength in here and the ally protect on the 3-turn cooldown when booked, but the main utility is the passive. This is what makes him really good for the Scarab in tandem with that A1 that can help him stay alive. When attacked, a 50% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff on the attacker for 2 turns. So he can just sit here and get attacked, and he's going to be constantly placing poisons onto the Scarab. And then a little bit lower, you've got increased this champion's max HP by 5% whenever an enemy receives damage from a poison debuff placed by this champion, which he is going to be placing. And then there is a really cool ability here about destroying max HP. But if you read down below, it says cannot destroy a single champion's max HP by more than 25%. And will not destroy a boss's max HP, which is a little bit unfortunate in the context of the Scarab, but it's really not that big of a deal. You can easily farm the Scarab solo with him in just a few minutes if you've got him built similar to how I'm going to show you to do in this video with the different stat ranges and all of that. And he does have a passive for ally resistance in all battles by 80. Now, UROST could probably be a decent mid-game tank, but the problem is by the time you get him by clearing a bunch of secret rooms in the Doom Tower, you're probably going to have better options for like tag team arena tanks and stuff like that and different PvE content you're trying to clear. He's really not that great in most areas of the game. By far and away, his most popular role and usage is using him to solo farm the Scarab. So let's head on over to the UROST that I've got built here on my main account, and we'll talk about the different stat thresholds you're going to want to hit for this build to take advantage of smashing the Scarab with him. Now, you can see here that I do got a decent amount of crit rate. It's going to help you do a little bit of damage. It's not super necessary. The nice thing about this build is that just in general with the stats, you've got a little bit of leeway. Let me put down my camera here and I will show you my total stats just in case you want to see my exact build. But yeah, you like the speed, I mean, anywhere between 120 and 200 and you're going to be fine. Like, you will want him to crank out more turns, obviously, to get some of those like immortal heals, and if you've got him wearing immortal, and then proccing some of the more consistent shielding on the A1. But you can see I've got him at 159 speed, and he does perfectly fine. And then you want to get him at least to about 350 accuracy or so, 350 to 400, to make sure you're placing those poisons on the Scarab. And then you want to get somewhere around 3,000 to 3,500 defense, and then stacking as much HP as you can possibly get. You don't need any attack or any of that stuff. It's not really going to be mandatory. Mainly focus on the toughness, the accuracy, and the speed, getting at least enough to cycle through a little bit. So that means when we're gearing him on the boots, you're typically going to want some HP percent boots that have speed and accuracy substats. On the chest, you can go with either defense or HP. HP would probably be the most optimal. At the time when I built him, I didn't have one. Ideally, I could probably replace this and get an HP chest that has like speed and accuracy as the substats. And then you want HP gloves. Now look at this. This is the nice thing about UROST. I don't have speed on either my chest or my gloves or speed boots, and I'm still able to get him in a decent enough spot to farm the hardest possible Scarab that you're going to go up against. Now, the top ones are pretty simple. Again, you know the stats you're looking for there. On the banner, you're going to want accuracy most times, and then get as much HP and defense as you can. The amulet, I've got him in crit rate, so I put the crit damage one on just to speed it up a little bit, because he is able to farm at a very high win rate for me, so I thought, why not? But if you're in the more progression phase, you'll probably want to go with like an HP amulet that has an accuracy substat. And then on the ring, we're just looking for as much toughness as we can get. And you can see that my stats, or my sets, sorry, I just went with a bunch of healing. You can go with like regen, immortal, anything like that. And as you can see, for me, I just went with the 6 pieces of immortal to crank up that HP and get that regen rolling. I didn't even ascend his gear or anything like that. I guess I could try it here on the video. Why not? Let's do at least like a 1-star ascension and see how it's going. So, you know, the boots can be pretty impactful because we can get more HP or something on there. We got attack, that's completely worthless, so you would immediately do not pass go. You would end right there. Let's do a 1 on the chest here, and we got HP, so we'll definitely take that up to level 2 right there on the video. I mean, just got 6% more HP. That's super impactful on him, so that chest actually became decent. Let's do this right here, and we got flat attack, so did not go great. But yeah, I didn't even need to ascend him or anything. As far as the booking process, you could probably do it. I don't think I ever officially tried it. I had booked him before I kind of went for the build. He could probably do it without being booked. It's going to be way more consistent and way faster, though, if you do have the books on him. You're mainly looking for the books on this passive right here, where you can get the massive increase, the 25% more chance to be placing those poisons and speed it up. But I would assume if you built him with good enough stats, you're mainly just looking for like the A1 and the passive. So you could probably have a budget build where you don't really spend a whole bunch of books on him, as long as you're able to hit the different stat thresholds you're going to need. The masteries are going to be pretty simple. I do have them on the infographic and the post that I'm going to provide down below if you would like access to that whenever you need it. But yeah, you obviously want War Master when you're doing this run for sure, and it's going to help you get those procs and do a little bit of damage and speed it up. And we're just going down the offense and support trees, and you will be perfectly fine. As far as blessings, Brimstone is going to help you out immensely for the speed farming utility of this build, so I would go with that as well on your choice for blessing. Now I will show you him in action for my main Scarab farming team right here. And you can see that I literally only have 3 champions. I've got a Stag Knight and a Septimus to help me get through the waves. And then when we are here at the boss, we just want the champions that are there with UROST to go ahead and lay down. And then we just want UROST to solo the boss. You can see over on the far right side, I have got the different stats breakdown of the UROST that you can see during the fight. And it is really pretty simple. The 159 speed will be perfectly fine. I can cycle through enough. You can see the Brimstone kind of popping off, doing a little bit of damage there. And we don't even need to worry about removing that top bar on the Scarab, that purple destroy max HP. You can just sit here and let UROST, let the poisons place, let the poisons tick and do their thing and do some damage, and it's not the fastest thing in the world. You're not able to do the boss in a minute or anything like that, but perfectly reasonable, you know, if you're just trying to get through. But also, the Scarab is a pretty good set. You get that buffed up immunity set, so you get like the resistance and the debuff immunity. Really good mid-game set, and there's lots of different builds that can benefit from that to just help them kind of absorb what's going on in a PvP match and then be able to still get their abilities off. So whether you're trying to farm the set or you're just trying to get through the Scarab to progress through the Doom Tower, either way, UROST can function perfectly fine. You can see here that this run will be like 3.5 minutes, I think typically is the average for me. So anytime you're doing one of the harder bosses in the game with a solo champion in about 3.5 minutes, that is really good in the context of a Doom Tower, especially if you're able to like super raid your silver keys or whatever. You're doing 2 at once and you're basically doing a run in sub 2 minutes when you're doing the super raids to have more than one occur at the same time. But there you go. I'll let you see that the run finishes just fine. And 341 right there for my solo UROST that I just put in a Stag Knight and a Septimus to help with the waves. So then for the grades on UROST the Soul Cage, it's a little bit tough. He is a tough one to grade because he's such a niche specific role that in the context of a tier list, he's really not going to grade out that well. And you're not really going to use him in a ton of places once your account is in a really good place, kind of towards the mid game and end game. But he does still get an 83 grade in the Doom Tower because he can be very good in that role. And there are a lot of accounts out there, even endgame, that are going to want to just lazily throw him up there against the Scarab and let him do his thing. He's also decently scarce because of his role and his kind of cool things going on with the A1 and the passive to solo content. But really, in terms of a general grading breakdown, it's not going to be that great in the context of a tier list, as his main role, and especially the purpose of me doing this video and the infographic and everything, is to showcase the solo Scarab build. So there we have it. Remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends guides and graphics. We'll have a lot more videos like this coming your way, going over the most popular champions, the most popular builds that you are going to want HD infographics and access to for whenever you are ready to put them together. And I'll link to everything you need down below in the show notes, pinned comment, and all that type of stuff to find the infographic and the post easily as well. So that'll do it for me on this one. I appreciate all of you. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Peace.